the Sam Raimi trilogy in one night.
Oh, wow.
I might go. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to, but I plan on trying to make it.
Take that opportunity, man.
Yeah.
It's a long haul, but it's fun. Back in mid-October of 2015 on the Back to the Future Day.
Okay.
Horton Plaza played all three of them back-to-back, and Joelle and I went and had so much fun. We were there. It's like an 8-hour, like a 7 or 8 hour commitment.
What?
But we went and watched all three of them back-to-back-to-back, and it was a lot of fun.
Huh. Yeah. Well, I hope I get to go.
I hope so too. That'd be great. And then I think the only one I've ever actually seen on the big screen was Army of Darkness when it came out.
Really?
Yeah, I've never seen any of the other Evil Deads on the big screen. I know that our dearly departed Ken Theater had played at least one of those for a midnight movie, probably both at some point.
I think I went to see the first one there.
Yeah.
A few years back, so they at least have played one, which was awesome.
But I would jump at the chance to see all three of them together. But even if it was just one of them, I would take that opportunity.
I'm really stoked to see two because it's so fucking weird.
My dad took me to see Army of Darkness when that movie came out. He just thought I had no idea, nor did he, obviously, that it was connected to a larger trilogy. I didn't find that out till probably 3 or 4 years past that.
When did Army of Darkness come out?
Like 92.
Oh, okay.
We just thought it was like some fun, fantasy type movie, so we went to go watch it. But I didn't find out until towards the end of high school that it was actually part of the Evil Dead trilogy, and because that's when I saw the first two Evil Dead movies.
Did you still enjoy Army of Darkness, seeing it out of context like that?
Yeah, it's a fun movie. And you can never go wrong with Bruce Campbell.
Smart.
Yeah, we had no idea. Even though I think there's like a little tease of the end of Evil Dead 2 at the beginning of Army of Darkness. But we just thought it was like, this is how this guy got here. Mm-hmm. We had no idea. You've seen this movie before, right?
Yeah.
Had it been a while since you'd watched it, though?
Very long time, yes.
So what were your impressions checking it out again for the first time in a while?
I think it holds up really well. As long as you're able to put yourself in the mindset that this is a different style, like a Hong Kong film, then of course you're going to love it, assuming that you appreciate different kinds of movies and aesthetics. And I feel like this guy, the way that Wu works is like he does like this over the top, almost like machismo soap opera-y kind of style. So I don't know, I really love it. And then it mixed with he kind of developed like the way that he does the gunplay and everything is like very much a staple of him. So I don't know. There's not much to really critique on this. Chow Yun-fat is pretty rad, and I feel like he plays both, or does a great job at doing like the badass persona, but then like sensitive at the same time. At least in this one. What about you, man?
Oh, dude, love it. Love it. It'd been a few years since I had watched it, but rewatching it again last night in prep for the show, I was like really stoked and really excited, and it starts off immediately.
Yeah.
There isn't a big build, whatever. I mean, it goes right into that first action scene in the nightclub.
Yeah, they're basically like, he's in the church and he's like, yeah, this is what I need you to do. Take out this guy. And he's like, all right. But then he just goes, and then, he kind of sees the, what's her...
Jenny?
Yeah, Jenny performing, right before the huge like shootout happens. I didn't mean to steal.
No. No, that's exactly what happens. But it's just, I love how it just jumps in, and the shootout is nuts. You know, that's, for a lot of people, that was probably their first introduction to that style. Because I don't think A Better Tomorrow had crossed over, at least the mainstream. I think The Killer was more so the first mainstream John Woo movie to cross over. Yeah, just like jumps in, and he's like, you know, two guns, which is something that I don't think had popped up in a lot of American movies at that point, besides maybe a Western. But this very much is, John Woo's style was very much inspired by Western films and Sergio Leone and Sam Peckinpah, and Fat's got those two Berettas, man. He's just completely unloading on
into
everyone.
like one person.
Yeah, if you watch the movie, if you watch John Woo movies in particular, like he spends a lot of bullets on just one guy.
Yeah, just tearing him up. The squib work is so good.
Yeah.
As far as special effects, it's nuts, dude. And then they're just flying through windows, and it's just great gun control for sure.
What's always funny about Hong Kong movies? I wish I could find the actual quote.
The clips, like
where John Woo said something like, "What was the difference between American movies and Hong Kong movies?" He says in American movies they actually stop to reload. And Joel was like super convinced because he watched The Killer and Hard Boiled with me all those years ago, like when we first got into him. He was like super convinced. He's like, they only run out of bullets when the narrative needs for them to run out of bullets, or like, you know, the gun will go empty. Only when it's necessary to the plot for the gun to go empty. The other times, they're firing, you know, 50 different times. Yeah, even in the nightclub, like, the Berettas go empty, he drops them, and then, you know, another guy starts shooting at him, and he sees, like, a 38 on the table, and he kicks the table, and he grabs the 38.
Yeah.
And he shoots. I swear to God, I wish I had counted. He must shoot that thing 20 times throughout that scene. Even though it's only a six shot pistol. But he shoots that guy that's shooting at him, shoots at another guy. He falls to the ground. He ends up getting shot in the back a couple of times. Mm-hmm. And Jenny is crawling through, and just as he goes to shoot someone else, she gets right in front of him. And he fires, and the muzzle flash is what blinds her. But yeah, I was sitting there thinking, oh, he definitely did not reload that pistol because he just picked that up off the table. But he does. There are scenes in the movie where he does go empty and has to reload. But it's funny watching them. It's like Hard Boiled, especially. The beginning of Hard Boiled is crazy, and he must fire like the 245s 50 times each. I remember watching with my dad one day. My dad's like, "You should definitely be out of bullets by now." And I said, "Oh yeah, just watch." And I know that I say that usually bugs me in some movies, war movies especially, when people don't reload. But for some reason, I'll let it slide on the Hong Kong movies because they're just so batshit crazy that it just kind of makes sense that they have the unlimited ammo codes.
I was actually paying attention to that throughout this one specifically because I remember you telling me about that. And then they do stop, but you can't really fault. I think Joel is correct because they'll focus on that, but it's for a purpose in the story as you go along. It's not necessarily to be authentic, you know, to bring realism or anything like the way that John.
Yeah, if you're looking for realism in the John Woo movie, forget it.
That's why he has the doves flying everywhere, even in Mission Impossible 2.
Yeah, this, as you said, this is the first movie that he has the doves in, and it's pretty much something that he's stuck with throughout all of his other movies, throughout all the American movies that he made.
I think they even parody that in Scary Movie 2.
Yep.
Yeah, with the where the dove flies by somebody and he like poops on him.
Yeah, on David Cross.
Yes.
Yeah, because that was the summer right after Mission Impossible 2. And people were like making a big shit deal out of the doves in Mission Impossible 2. Which is funny because even the poster for Mission Impossible 2 has the doves on it.
I think you gave me that one.
For some reason I had so many copies of that poster that was just, hey, if someone wants them, they can take it. I don't know how I ended up with so many posters for Mission Impossible 2. My time working at a movie theater paid off well. But yeah, the doves are funny, and they're all over that church. Mm-hmm. Which I've never walked into a church and seen birds just chilling.
As we said in the Face Off episode, there is also doves and pigeons.
Yeah, absolutely.
They do. There's some kind of altercation in a church too, and
yeah,
they're just
the climax of Face Off is in that church, the shootout in the church, which is another John Woo motif, is the church and the religion.
Because he's follows Christianity,
mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Even though I don't feel like he's trying to force it down your throat. It's just like he very much a Scorsese accolade. And Scorsese very much always has a ton of religious imagery in his films. And John Woo does as well. I think The Killer, Woo went on record saying that Mean Streets influenced him for The Killer, right?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, Mean Streets, The Wild Bunch,
mm-hmm.
French film called Les Samurai, which is another hitman movie, which is a very good movie if you have a chance to check that out ever. That's kind of his three, I would say, probably direct influences on The Killer, and at least his style of work, that over-the-top violence from the Sam Peckinpah films. That kind of religious aspect from Mean Streets, especially with Harvey Keitel's character in that film.
What about the spy versus spy?
The spy versus spy stuff, yeah. Very much influenced by that, especially that very famous scene where they're Ah Zhang and Lee are both in Jenny's apartment and they're pointing guns at each other.
Yeah.
And because she's mostly blind by that point, she can't see. I mean, even.
Oh yeah.
It's on the front cover of that book on Hong Kong film.
That's almost like an interpretive dance, what they're doing.
Yeah, because they keep switching around as she's coming towards them and walking, and they both lower their guns, but they don't take them off of each other.
Yeah.
They just kind of stick them in each other's armpits so that she can't see them. And it's also an iconic shot. But also, it's funny because just over the years, the translation of that scene is the nicknames that they give each other kept changing. Because I think at one point it was Mickey Mouse and Dumbo, but Disney objected to that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they changed them. At one point, I think it was Asshole and Dickhead. And then that got changed in translation. What I watched had Shrimp Head and Small B. Is that what you saw?
Yes.
That's the nicknames? Okay. I can't remember all those years ago, like the first time I saw that.
If it was a different cut.
Yeah, like what the translation was on the names that they're calling each other, but they're acting like they're old friends. To not scare her and to not let her in on what's going on. But yeah, just the way that they're dancing around, and she's got the coffee or the tea.
Mm-hmm.
And they take it, but they're still like holding the guns on each other.
Yeah. I had a quick side note, even though I know what the answer is going to be, but do you watch not just Hong Kong but foreign films? Do you watch subtitles or